What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and tonight we're going to be talking about Treyarch working on 5+ projects, an update on what Treyarch is doing in Modern Warfare 2, and even more. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, drop a like, and make sure you have notifications on to stay up to date with everything going on in Cold War Year 2, Warzone, Modern Warfare 2, and any other future Call of Duty as well. But real quickly, I have a couple of business updates for you guys. First off, I've now been approved to have the Super Thanks feature in all of my videos, essentially allowing you to drop a super chat, but in the comment section of videos, not live streams, which is really cool. I think that feature rolled out a couple of months ago, but I now have access to it, which is cool. Any support is of course appreciated. I also have brand new merch for the summer. As you can see, we have new t-shirts, one of which just says just one more game, which are my famous words at 6 a.m. whenever we're streaming late. It's kind of a meme at this point here on the channel. Also got flip-flops, shorts, an AirPods case, socks, and even more, all through Teespring, which is linked down below in this video's description, and it's always available on all my other videos. I think underneath, like where the description is, you'll see the Teespring integration here on YouTube, and you can also find it over on my link tree. But I also went ahead and posted my first video and even a podcast clip over on my second channel, dkdynamite Plus, which is also linked down below. Any support there is appreciated, really means the world to me, and I can't thank you guys enough for all the immense support on the brand new channel I just started a couple of days ago. Don't forget though, it won't be affecting any of the mainline content that I'm posting here on this channel, something extra that I just want to have available in case I want to cover a couple of other things. But now when it comes to the meat and potatoes of this video, so we do know that as of right now, Treyarch is potentially working on maybe not even 5, but 6 projects at once across multiple different games and even on different engines. And that's impressive to me. So starting off with the obvious one that we know they're working on right now, which is Cold War Year 2. It's nothing too major to where we're getting a brand new roadmap or a trailer or anything, but it's been something sporadic since like December. So ever since Vanguard came out, Cold War has still gotten a good variety of updates. We're talking bundles. I think we're at about 15 at the moment. We've gotten 2 new multiplayer maps, which I know are remasters from BO4. I get it. We got about 3 weapons. The site hasn't come out yet, but that's about 3. We then are getting potential new modes coming to multiplayer. We know we got some Onslaught LTMs which came back, but there is one more rumor to come back in MP, which I talked about before. It's called Scream Deathmatch, but in the form of Slasher Deathmatch, so without the Halloween twist. And we also got a super Easter egg over in Zombies, which is awesome. I mean, I didn't expect anything in Cold War during Year 2, considering that to jump right onto Vanguard after Cold War cycle ended, and considering Cold War was already kind of a problematic game, considering it was made under tough circumstances with the pandemic. They had one less year to make the game. It wasn't even theirs to begin with. It was Sledgehammer's, which they then turned into Black Ops Cold War. So Year 1 was already crazy, and we still got Year 2 of content. So that dedication from Treyarch is definitely amazing, and I'm sure the success of Cold War also encouraged Activision to say, you know what, let's drop some more content in that game whenever you guys have time. But obviously more would have been added to Cold War Year 2, probably even new content and new maps, if they didn't have to worry about Vanguard. That leads us to the next point. With Vanguard, it's their first time working on the Modern Warfare engine. Not an easy task. I think whenever Treyarch has to work on a new engine, it takes them some time to get used to things. And typically what they do is they go and remaster old school zombie maps like Nacht, Varuk, Shinonuma, Darius. They've done it dozens of times before, and they did it yet again here with Vanguard by throwing us Shinonuma. They also had to work on ranked play, which I'm hoping wasn't that bad of a task and hopefully wasn't that complicated, but still they had to lead ranked play in Vanguard multiplayer, which had me scratching my head. I'm like, wait, what was Sledgehammer really doing to where they couldn't even do a ranked play for their own multiplayer? I just don't get it, but I do understand Treyarch has done some very popular ranked play type experiences in the past, and Activision figured if Vanguard isn't going to do that great, maybe Treyarch could bring some hype and energy towards it, and they kind of already did that with Zombies, right? There are some people that probably don't even touch Vanguard multiplayer and never played the campaign, but still give Zombies a chance because it's quote-unquote Treyarch. I mean, story-wise, Vanguard Zombies has been excellent, but obviously gameplay-wise and content-wise, fairly underwhelming, but that's not really Treyarch's fault, and people out there still don't seem to understand that when it wasn't even their game to begin with again, and having to work on a new engine this time where they can't just port things over from their other games. Imagine, right, with only like maybe a couple of months to make Duran fun, imagine how difficult it is to get something out there that's presentable, and this is what we got. But I've been thinking about something for the last couple of days, and that is that the crew that specifically worked on Vanguard, right, Ranked and Zombies, might be the same crew that Treyarch is going to have put together some of these other free-to-play or bonus projects that aren't connected to Black Ops 2024. It's to my understanding and to the understanding of the press and other gaming scoopers that Treyarch already has a pretty large team behind the scenes working on the next Black Ops, but I'm like, wait, what about Vanguard Ranked, Vanguard Zombies, and then some of those other rumored projects? Well, I think there's a separate crew that's working on all of that aren't going to be working on Black Ops 2024 for quite some time. We also know that a lot of multiplayer designers and multiplayer people at Treyarch were some of the ones in charge of Vanguard Ranked and Zombies. But now here's where things get crazy. We know about that report from the press that COD 2023 isn't going to happen, and and it's actually being pushed back until 2024. Whether Microsoft takes over before that game releases is definitely unknown, but at first that was kind of concerning news because I'm like, I don't know how I feel about Treyarch not getting a game in 2023 and being stuck with Modern Warfare 2 for 2 years, because what if that game isn't great and we're stuck with that for a while? That's going to be bad and might even impact the potential for Treyarch's next game to get a proper year 2. So didn't know how I felt about that at first, but I think overall I was always under the impression that it would benefit Treyarch regardless, because they haven't had a break in quite some time and it's just been crunch after crunch after crunch, crazy project after crazy project. So I'm like, you know what, this has to be really exciting news for Treyarch behind the scenes. But then a couple of days ago, we got a rumor from the Ghost of Hope, a gaming super on Twitter, that Treyarch is rumored to be working on DMZ, and it'll be the first collaboration between Treyarch and Infinity Ward. Now don't get me wrong, Ghost of Hope has been pretty reliable about a bunch of different leaks in the past, but he has been wrong a couple of times too. So like I always say with rumors or early info, take it all with a grain of salt. But then Ghost came out earlier this afternoon with another bombshell report, and apparently is exclusive to just him, in which he said that Treyarch is also going to be doing ranked play in Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer. We then have other leakers and data miners out there who've been going through the Warzone mobile files, and as they posted on Twitter, they said that this is apparently correct information, and proof of Treyarch working on ranked in MW2 was found via the Warzone mobile files, and that apparently it's going to be a pretty big replica or a clone of Vanguard ranked play, which supposedly has been successful for Activision. But my question is, how is Infinity Ward, with all the time they've had to work on MW 2019 and then Modern Warfare 2, why aren't they working on ranked for their own multiplayer? I mean, why couldn't they just adopt what Treyarch did for Vanguard ranked and say, okay, we're gonna use that and just make our rank just like this because Activision told us to, not because Infinity Ward maybe wants to copy Treyarch, but because Activision is telling them, all right, you gotta do this. My question though is, if Activision wants a Treyarch ranked play every single year now, why can't they just have the other studios adopt the same practices and mechanics and features and restrictions that Treyarch implemented in Vanguard? Why does Treyarch have to make the ranked play? I don't understand that. But like I said earlier, I want to assume that ranked play isn't that complicated to put together, and hopefully it's a very small crew at Treyarch that has to work on the Modern Warfare 2 ranked play. I'm assuming that it's a much easier task to do a ranked play than a zombies mode, so I don't think it'll be the same situation where Treyarch is working on 2 modes in a game that isn't theirs. But if the rumor about them working on DMZ with Infinity Ward is correct, then it's the same situation as Vanguard, where they're working on 2 modes in a game that isn't theirs on an engine that also isn't theirs, but an engine that they have to work on anyway, because apparently that's going to be the standard going forward for all future Call of Duties, the Modern Warfare engine. But this makes things even more complicated, because like I've been saying, right, there is a rumor that has been going around the press and gaming scoopers that Treyarch is dropping a standalone free-to-play project in 2023, and that there's potential it's zombies related. I mean, if it's zombies related, all I could think of is maybe turning like Caldera or a Warzone map into an Outbreak experience, or all old zombies maps remastered in beautiful HD for the Modern Warfare engine, something like that, a collection of sorts or a remaster. I can't see the 2023 project being anything major where it's like new content, anything that crazy, because how big could that possibly be if they have a Black Ops game coming out just a year later in 2024? And if they're also working on elements of Modern Warfare 2 like ranked and DMZ, that I just don't see how they have the manpower to work on all of that. Now there is potential that that free-to-play thing coming in 2023 is DMZ, but lately we've gotten articles written from Tom Henderson and other scoopers that apparently DMZ is just another mode, and that people like Ralph have exaggerated DMZ to be this big Escape from Tarkov-like experience, when in reality it's just another mode that'll be in MW2 this year. So let's see what Treyarch ends up pumping out in 2023. Hopefully it's something exciting, doesn't take away too much manpower from their next premium Call of Duty. But then there's the potential 5th or 6th project here, Black Ops 2024, aka what I'm calling Black Ops Cold War 2, because as of right now, we could judge, based on the images that have surfaced early for that game, we can judge that it'll end up being a game that takes place in the 90s, essentially after the main events of Cold War, but may feature some semi-futuristic elements, may have flash forwards to the future, post Black Ops 2. I'm very excited for this game. We know that Zombies also left us off at the 90s, so we're gonna be looking at a very interesting time frame in which they can maybe cover both the Gulf War and the Black Hawk Down incident. Now, I'm also not concerned about the next Black Ops using the Modern Warfare engine, because I never had a problem with the Modern Warfare engine. I think the gameplay feels great. I mean, the graphics of Infinity Ward and Vanguard's last 2 games have been rooted in realism, and fair enough, that's the style they went with. I mean, Vanguard is a lot more colorful than Modern Warfare, though. We just know that Treyarch has a certain style with kind of that retro, arcadey, wonky, very fun type of color palette they always use in their games. So combining that with the Modern Warfare engine might be something really interesting that we never knew we wanted. So I'm looking forward to how they adopt the Modern Warfare engine in the Black Black Ops series. But the thing is, right, we've seen a lot of people leave Treyarch over the last couple of weeks, right? That has me concerned because I'm like, how can Treyarch pull off all these different projects at once with all these people leaving? I mean, we know Treyarch has made it clear a couple of times over the past few months that they are hiring. I'll leave a link in the description if you guys are interested in working with Treyarch. Please reach out because I think they need the manpower. But the thing is, at this point, it looks like Treyarch is like the matriarch of Call of Duty now. People could say, oh, it was Infinity Ward that created the new era of COD because of the engine and because of Warzone. Say whatever you want, but Treyarch has a hand on every COD moving forward. Whether you like that or not, Treyarch's kind of impact on COD is going to be felt with every game, and even games that aren't even theirs. And I don't know if that's leadership at Treyarch that's causing this or somebody at Activision. Now the thing is, you can call me a fanboy, but I do believe Treyarch has made a ton of mistakes in the past. I mean, what studio hasn't? I think Black Ops 4 is the best example. I mean, my tinfoil hat conspiracy is that they had an ambitious idea for that game's campaign, multiplayer, and zombies. Campaign didn't work out, so it got scrapped completely. I mean, that's probably millions of dollars down the drain for whatever reason. They also didn't know what direction they wanted to go in with that game's multiplayer because at first it was rumored to be some type of Overwatch hero shooter, which Activision apparently didn't like during the playtest. And I think Zombies, they kind of had a rough plan of doing 4 maps at launch, but then doing 2 stories, that to me was just too ambitious, and then Activision has to make them shoehorn in a battle royale. I'm a major Blackout fan, but without a doubt, development on Blackout took all the priority to where other game modes suffered. I think that's very obvious, and then on top of that, for some reason, there was a lack of QA testing to where the game released in terrible state, blue screens, crashing, all types of other problems, Easter eggs not working. I mean, something went wrong, whether it's Activision is somehow prevented them from having proper QA, or was it poor leadership at Treyarch? I mean, Blundell had a leadership role for the first time with Black Ops 4. It's where he was co-studio head, and I don't think he gave off the best impression as co-studio head. Maybe he just wanted to do too many things with such little time, and with being forced to do Blackout, I just think there was a lot of mistakes made with the beginning of Black Ops 4, although I do love that game and I had a great time covering it that year. It was a lot of fun, but didn't release in the best state. Now, in terms of leadership, at least Thunderheart's still there, but I don't think Mark Lamia is anymore. And we know Dan Bunting got accused of some very inappropriate things not too long ago, and without even responding to the allegations, he just got up and left. So I'm not saying that it's guilty before proven innocent, but that was definitely suspicious. So leadership might be a bit weird behind the scenes right now at Treyarch. I mean, who knows, but I'm concerned about that if they're working on all these projects at once. Now, I know it's almost a meme to call me a Treyarch fanboy at this point, but I've made it clear. We're all on the same side. We all love Call of Duty no matter which dev is making it. I'm looking forward to a new game, which is Modern Warfare 2, but just in my opinion, over the last couple of years, or at least the last 5 years, I'll give it, Treyarch can just come out with the best content that's fun to create videos and streams on. If you want to base your opinion on just the raw gameplay, go right ahead. But from a content creator's perspective that's been doing this for a while, I just think Treyarch's put out some of the most exciting content to talk about, whether it's from the marketing, the trailers, the roadmaps, Easter eggs, the storyline, the maps, the wonkiness, the weapons. They've done some really exciting things that I think just make the game fun in comparison to other games that have come out from COD that are just rooted in realism, with the theme not being that exciting, with skins not being that great. But either way, I think Activision just knows how successful Treyarch's output has been to where they want that to be felt across every COD going forward, even games that aren't Treyarch's. So that just tells you who's really on top when it comes to who Activision trusts the most to get the job done and get more success out there for the franchise. Now, the last thing I'll end with is this. The game that really should have been the most problematic out of the entire COD franchise should have been Black Ops Cold War, without a doubt. When it wasn't Treyarch's game to begin with, and to make it under a pandemic with one less year to do the job, that is insane to me that the game they produced in that short amount of time was a damn banger. Maybe that always goes back to that saying, bigger isn't always better. Maybe less time to work on a game like COD might mean more in the long run. It might create a better game than having too many years to make it to the point where you get too ambitious and just start focusing on these other crazy things, not the little things that really make COD what it is. But considering that we only have, just Treyarch and Raven credited for working on Cold War, and maybe a couple of other small studios for minor things, you didn't have this big collab between Infinity Ward or Sledgehammer with Treyarch. You didn't have that at all, and it's like now we're seeing this with Vanguard and Modern Warfare 2 back to back to where Treyarch has to help with them. It just blows my mind. I don't know if it's just poor leadership at Infinity Ward and Sledgehammers where they can't handle bad crunch time. I don't know what it is, but I get it. You could say, oh, well, Raven had to make the campaign for Cold War, and it's like, yeah, because the original plan for COD 2020 was for Raven and Sledgehammer to lead that game. Raven was always going to make that campaign, so they just finished it off and incorporated it in the Black Ops story. But I would hope that Treyarch works on their own campaign for the next Black Ops. But if Raven has to do it again so that Treyarch can come out with a banger multiplayer and zombies, I'm okay with that, considering they have to help Sledgehammer and Infinity Ward with all these other things before 2024. Now that is about it. This has been DK Dynamite. Leave our thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on Treyarch potentially working on 5+ different projects, maybe even 6? And also, what are your thoughts on Treyarch doing a ranked mode in Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer? Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.